single round, but mashing decks, clashing luck on the line. Are you ready for the chaos? This is the Mixed Results Podcast. Let's go!
And welcome back. I am Kevin with Mixed Gaming 190, and my
And
co-host.
I'm Nick with Unexpected Results, MTG. And our guest today,
Mulligan MTG, are also known as Tony.
Tony.
thank you for joining us today, Tony.
Appreciate you having me here.
Well, sadly, based off your name, we are restricted. Sorry.
Well, darn.
Darn. Dang it.
Shouldn't have gave my real name.
What's your name?
What's your name?
Screw you, Tony.
I hear that from my wife all the time.
Really?
Yeah, so that's all she ever wants to do.
Yes.
Well, Tony, how old are you and where are you from?
So I'm 35, soon to be 36 in June.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I was born and raised in Alabama, but I've been living in Oregon for roughly 3 years now. And I actually moved here because of my wife. We met through playing Xbox together, and we had a mutual friend from back home in Alabama that we both happened to know for several years. And our mutual friend was like, yeah, no, I can't let this pass. So she ended up hooking us up both up together. And then, long story short, we ended up getting married, and it just happy times for us.
Wait, sorry. You were playing together, but you lived in the same state, in the same place? Area?
No. So she lived here in Oregon, and then myself and our mutual friend both lived in Alabama.
Okay.
But we all played Xbox together. We all played Destiny 2 and Diablo and stuff like that. And at the time, my now wife wanted to get into Destiny 2, and I was really big into it, still am. So our mutual friend brought us along, and I was trying to teach them how to play Destiny 2 and stuff, and then it kind of just went on from there, and we got hitched, and been a happy little story since then.
Nice.
What part of Oregon?
The southern border. I'm literally like 30 minutes away from California.
Oh, okay, right on. I've got family in Grants Pass right there, and best friends live up in Albany.
So we're in Klamath, if you know where that's
Okay,
at.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm right there in Klamath, not too far from Grants Pass.
Very cool.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
Tony, what was life growing up? Siblings? What activity did you do as a kid?
So I did have a sibling, my younger brother, Adam. We are the complete opposite. We are polar opposites for one another, but that's how we got along so well, was because we were polar opposites. But growing up, I grew up in a very poor family, so usually a lot of normal stuff most people did, we really didn't do. Like, I didn't play my first video game until I was like almost 10, right? Um, Thankfully, though, we had a friend of ours, a family friend, who was the one who got me into Dungeons and Dragons and D&D at such an early age. I started D&D and Magic the same week, and I was around 8 years old when I started. So it's been, give or take, what, 26, 27 years? Something like that.
Yeah. Very cool. So you didn't grow up with a whole lot, but you kind of made do with what you had,
Yeah, always going outside if I had the opportunity to do so. And once I got the video games, though, I was always indoors. Like, I always wanted to stay in and play the video games or whatever. But yeah, usually it was always me and my brother going outside and doing something, whether it be ride horses or, just getting on the dirt bikes and driving around the pasture or whatever, just a bunch of redneck stuff is what we did.
True redneck boys.
True rednecks.
You said that you and your brother are polar opposites.
Yeah. So my
What would
brother was
you
not a
say?
nerdy person. So my
Okay,
brother was the one that was more into like going hunting, working on vehicles, like getting his hands dirty and whatnot. I was more the nerdy kid, right?
got it.
I like to, read the books and go and play the video games and stuff like that. But the reason why we were able to like be so close together and more unified than most other brothers was because of us being polar opposites. And he would always find time to find an interest in something that I did, and then I always found something that he would do, and we would just, do it together. And he would show
Oh,
me how to do something, I would show him how to do something, and it kind of just worked.
right on.
That's
Very
nice.
cool. Brother's a good old blue collar boy.
Yeah.
Like that. What do you do outside of content?
So I did mention earlier that I was a chef for 9 years. So that took up a vast majority of my time. So I do love to cook. A matter of fact, I cook for the family. So when I moved here, we got married, I do all the cooking. What else do I do? I do like playing video games, like I said. I also like reading a lot when I have the time to. I'm actually halfway in a book right now. Fourth Wing. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. But it's my wife hates this description, but I'm going to use it anyway because it's the perfect description for this book. If you've ever heard of Aragon, the dragon book
Yep.
from like the kids book, right?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Think of Aragon, but it's adult rated.
Okay.
So if you've got that down, you've got the whole series down.
I think I know exactly what book series you're talking about.
Yeah,
I think my brother's wife read it, and she was like, "You need to read this. It's
yeah,
dragons and people riding dragons, but it's like adult stuff." I was like,
yeah.
"Cool."
That was the same thing my wife said. She's like, "Oh my goodness, I love these books. You need to read these books." I'm like, "Fine." So I got through half of the first book, and I need to finish the other half. But so far, it's just a bunch of people fighting one another, and I'm just like, "Where's the other stuff?"
Mhm.
You got to build up the tension.
Right?
There you go.
Yep. Well, most people know you as Free Mulligan, but what
Right.
is Free Mulligan, and what are your goals as a group?
So Free Mulligan was actually derived from a contest that I did. So originally my channel was Dirty 20 D&D,
Hmm.
and I did everything from Dungeons and Dragons to gaming to magic and whatnot. I kind of combined them all together. And then I was like, okay, well, magic is not doing really well on this channel, so I'm going to kind of separate the two out and try to do something different. And I made a contest and said, hey, to anybody who can come up with a name and draw me a logo, I will give you this gift, right? And did a giveaway for it. Well, the person who won drew the current logo and also came up with the name Free Mulligan. And I was like, I really like this. This is catchy. This is something unique. So I went with that, took it, and just ran with it ever since. And then as far as what we're trying to accomplish, we're wanting to get to a point where we're very similar to like Commander at Home or any of these other big name groups where they can play consistently every single week and then upload those episodes onto YouTube or live stream it or anything like that. And then our ultimate goal, which we did announce here within the past couple of weeks, is we're planning on opening up an LGS in the future. So the person that I just added on into the Free Mulligan brand goes by the name of Joven. He is coming on, and we're going to start building the process of trying to sell products and get like we're about to start doing Strixhaven here in the next couple of weeks when the product comes out. So we'll start selling products and whatnot and use that revenue to kind of build our names up and, start saving the money and eventually open up the LGS and we can do it full time. But that's the ultimate goal is to try to get to that point where content wise we're very similar to Commander at Home, but then overall we have the LGS that we've opened up and we're doing it more of a business structure with free Mulligan backing it up.
Right on. And you guys also recently started a Patreon to kind of help assist with those goals too. How's your experience so far been with the Patreon, and what are some tips and tricks you can give people setting up their own Patreon?
So we haven't officially published it yet, but
Okay.
we do have the account set up. We do have it ready to go as far as like the basics are concerned. Um, Personally, what I'm having trouble finding is trying to find that happy medium of like, I don't want to charge people too much in the early stages. And if I do charge you a certain amount, I want your rewards to be of equal value because it doesn't make sense to me to go in and give somebody like $10 and then all you get out of it is like a couple of stickers every once in a blue moon and you get your name posted at the end of every video. To me, that's just like the bare minimum, right? That should be what you get for the lowest tier, right? So I want to try to find that happy medium of like, what should I give to my supporters so that they feel like that they're satisfied and they're happy and they want to continue supporting the channel, as well as know that it's never going to like affect them in the sense of like they're going to be spending a whole bunch of money for nothing, right? So my advice for doing Patreon is do your research first. Don't just go in it blind and just create an account and then just post a bunch of stuff and then expect it to go off because that's not how it works. Uh, People will support you if they really like what you're doing. But at the same time, if what you're giving to them does not match or equal up to their time as well as their money, then they're not going to support you any further.
Yeah,
So,
that's fair.
Very true. Yeah, you got to invest in people who you want added
mm,
into it, and yeah,
Well, and
exactly.
it's also good that to hear you taking that stance and point of view with starting your own Patreon, on that you haven't just forced it to get out to start get some people to start help donating and helping you out. You want to make
Right.
sure it's worth their time and their donations. So
Right.
that's good.
a little bit. Um, what got going into TikTok and your videos? What got you into voice acting, and what are some projects you've contributed to?
So, Dungeons and Dragons is typically where I got the voice acting from. Um, I've been a forever DM ever since I started playing Dungeons and Dragons. I actually did my very first campaign at the age of 8.
Oh,
Um, so I have just been a DM pretty much my entire D&D career, and I got to a point where I started doing these different voices for different characters for those sessions. And the players that would come in and play in my sessions, they absolutely loved it. They thought it was the coolest thing because they got to interact with characters that sounded and felt different when I was portraying those characters. So the kind of where the final straw went with the voice acting was and this is kind of a long story, but I'll shorten it. My mother's favorite character in Lord of the Rings is Gollum. Okay. So I spent months practicing and getting really good at the Gollum voice. And for her birthday, me and my brother did an entire skit from the Lord of the
yes.
Rings where he played Frodo and I played Gollum and portrayed an entire event that was one of her favorite events in the Lord of the Rings trilogy series. and she loved it. She talked about it for months. Um, and that was kind of where I was like, okay, well, maybe I can make something out of this. So I did. I started applying for different positions in voice acting. One recently that I just applied for, still haven't heard back from them, but Fable Haven.
Mm-hmm.
It's based off a book series that's going to be
Yep.
turning into an animated series. That was the more recent one, but one of the most successful ones, which unfortunately they didn't have enough backing to actually release the video game itself. But I voice acted a character in a video game called Titan Saga, where the entire premise was it was a 2D drop down where that every single time that you played it, the story changed, and it
Mm.
changed based off of your dice rolls. So you would roll dice like you would in D&D, but every time that you come back and start a new game, based off of what you did in the previous game, it would change.
That's cool.
But I voice acted one of the characters. I played as a villain in that series where I was one of the bosses for the second chapter, I believe it was, because they were broken down into different chapters, and I think it went up to like chapter 6. But chapter 2, there was a villain that I played. It was the main villain for that chapter. And you had to defeat me before you had to go into chapter 3. So, unfortunately, though, they didn't have enough funding from Kickstart to actually launch the game, so it never got released or published. But thankfully, they did pay me for my work and
Nice.
whatnot, and I had a really good experience with it. I just
Okay.
wish the game would have been launched because it was
Yeah.
actually a really cool game.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, with voice acting, I have personally started dabbling in doing some voice acting in my content with my professor series. And the biggest thing that I struggle with is keeping the voice or the character consistent
Right.
and not dropping in and out of the character or bringing a new character in. What are some tips and tricks with people who are doing this for fun or doing it for, professionally? What are some tips and tricks to be more consistent?
So, um, it's going to sound silly, but singers, they do the AEIOU
Hmm.
and they sing it, do the same thing, but with the character voice.
Okay.
So you take the character that you're trying to portray and you want to get to a point where that it just becomes fluent, where that you can speak in that character's voice on the snap of a finger, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Take that voice and just repeat AEIOU multiple times before you sit down in front of a mic. And
Okay.
just keep doing that until the voice becomes so fluent and easy that the moment you sit down and you start talking, you just naturally talk in the voice that you're speaking in. Um, the more that you practice at that, the easier it gets. Like the Gollum thing, for example. I had to do it for like I said, months of just doing the AEIOU with the Gollum voice, going like "You stupid fat hobbitses, he ruins it."
Yes.
I can just do it naturally now, right? And it's because I repeated phrases or
Hmm.
letters, the AEIOU, multiple times before a session and sitting down. And it just got to a point where it got easy. And you do that for every single voice that you're trying to do. So if you're trying to do a British voice, sit down, do the lines, and say the AEIOU in British accent. And then when you get in front of the mic, it should come out natural. But that's the
It's a good
advice
tip.
I always give whenever you're trying to get into voice acting is to constantly practice your voices because the moment that you stop is the moment that you lose it,
Yeah.
and you don't want to lose it if you're trying to make it into a career.
Yep.
Got it.
How often do you slip into voices at home?
At home,
Yeah.
all the time.
Really?
uh, my kiddo in particular, so he likes to have a book read to him every
Hmm.
night.
Mm.
And this one particular book, it's he calls it the cookie book. but it's just a book with these different animal characters in it, and I always do the different voices for each character. And he requests that every single night, and it's literally on point. As soon as he gets done taking his nighttime meds, he's like, "Tata, read me a book." Okay, cool. Read him the book, do the voices. He's happy. He gets settled in. He goes to bed. So literally an everyday occurrence.
I have one more question about the
Sure.
voices, because you said you're a dungeon master and you use voices.
Mhm.
How do you remember what voices go to what character, especially
I
after
write them down.
multiple episodes? How do you
I
like
write them.
you write like a country accent to this
Yeah.
person? Okay.
So for me, when it comes to DMing, I'm a very detailed DM. I
Right.
write in multiple notebooks about every single character, about every single place, the cities in those places, the locations, everything. Like I sit down and meticulously write down every single detail that pops into my head about everything that's inside of that world, down to the character's voice, how old they are, where they're from, everything. And I do that because if I'm meticulous with the work that I'm doing, it performs better when I'm doing the overall result. It's just like anything else. The harder you work, the more success you're going to find. So same with DMing. The more effort you put into it, the better results you're going to get.
Good. Cool. Awesome. Okay. Good to know.
Hmm. You also do a bunch of voice over skits, where you
Yeah.
it's one of your kind of favorite videos to do on your channel. What are some of your favorite voiceover skits? And we're gonna show it off.
Okay, so the one that technically started it all was the conversation between Shrek and
Your
Donkey.
information is a lot what the
Um,
ogres and
and
people
that
think.
came from a conversation me
Example?
and my wife were having
Example?
one day
Okay.
so I was
Ogres
doing the
are like
Shrek
onions.
voice, and it was in a VC on
Say yes,
Discord
no, or
where
they
a
make you
bunch
cry.
of our friends
No. Oh,
from
you
her
leave 'em out in the
side of
sun,
her
they get all
TikTok
brown,
stuff,
start sprouting little white hairs.
we were just talking
No.
about Shrek, and I was
Layers.
doing the voice, and everyone
Onions
was cracking
have
up. And my
layers.
wife was like, "You
Ogres
should do a
have
video
layers.
on the
Onions have
Shrek
layers.
thing." And I was
You
like,
get it.
"Okay,
We both
cool,
have
I'll do
layers,
it."
but your
So I
information is a
made
lot
the
what the
video that you're
ogres and
seeing on the
people
screen
think.
now,
Example?
and
Example?
people loved it.
Okay.
So I was like, "Okay, cool. I'm just going to keep doing this
Ogres
because
are
it's
like
showing
onions.
success on my channel."
They
So
stink? Yes.
I
No.
tried
Or they
to
make
at
you cry?
least do
No. Oh,
three
you
to
leave them out in the
four a
sun, they get
week
all brown,
if
start sprouting
possible,
little white hairs.
and just
No.
push those out as much as I
Layers.
can,
Onions
just because
have
people seem to
layers.
really enjoy
Ogres
those,
have layers.
and
Onions have
it's
layers.
just a
You get
comedy
it. We both
skit.
have layers,
Yeah.
So
but
just
your
do something to
information
make
is a
somebody
lot what
laugh,
the
you know?
ogres and people think. Example?
Um,
Example?
for me, I
Okay.
want to try to get into it, but I don't know
Ogres
how you
are like
remember all that
onions.
stuff. How? Because I know Unexpected
Yes.
you a
No.
little bit
Or they
too.
make you cry.
How do you
Yeah.
No. Oh,
guys
you leave them out
remember
in the
what to
sun, they get
say?
all brown, start sprouting little white hairs.
Like it's so hard for me to
No.
memorize it.
Layers. Onions
So
have
for
layers.
me personally,
Ogres have
this could be
layers. Onions
completely
have
different
layers.
from unexpected,
You get
right?
it.
Mhm.
We
So
both
for
have
me
layers, but
personally,
your
it
information is
goes
a
back to
lot
what I
what
was
the
saying
ogres
before
and
about
people
repeating
think.
lines.
Example?
So take
Example?
that section
Okay.
of whatever you're trying to do a
Ogres
skit on.
are like
So like in
onions.
this case, doing the Shrek thing, right? You
Mhm.
go and look up the quotes and the actual lines from that section, mark them down, and then just say them out loud and memorize the lines for each character. And then when you go to do the video, as soon as the video pops up and you start hearing the sound of the characters' voices being portrayed, it's just easy to mouth it because you've already memorized the lines and you know what to look for. So before I make a video, I always go in and memorize the lines, get them down to a T, then make the video. And thankfully, the videos allow you to listen to what you're trying to record,
Okay.
so it makes it easier to mouth it. Um, but you just go in, listen to it, mouth whatever they're saying, and repeat it. And it just becomes easy after that. Like just do that. But
Good to know.
I go the extra step because I want to make sure that it's like exactly on point, just right. and that's just because of the many years of experience as a DM.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, and me wanting to not necessarily be a perfectionist, but make sure that it's done the right way.
Yeah.
So,
Uh, the repeating it, even like, especially if you can do like a camera cut, if you're doing different people or something, and you can pause it, so you can kind of attack it, chunk by chunk instead of trying to
right.
do the whole thing. It's tougher when you're doing a video and it's the same character, no video cuts, then you're kind of requiring to do it. I have cheated before where I'm making more of the general sounds of the sentence and stuff because
Right.
it's taking too long and I'm wanting to pull my beard out. Um, I have cheated before. I have openly admitted in a video before, um, I wasn't singing Dabba Dee Dabba Die
Right.
for I'm Blue. I was saying something else. For those of you who know the inside joke, you know the inside joke. But that's kind of like the cheat code with the voiceovers. If you pay attention close enough, it's not like you're gonna pick up that you're not actually saying the words. But most people's attention span, especially for TikTok short form content, isn't that detail oriented, and it's more about the emotion you're giving off in the video. And as long as, like, you know, it looks like you are really kind of emotionally invested into that video, um but my biggest struggle with those videos have been getting the sound bites and finding the idea to, like,
The
attach it to.
visual.
Like, sometimes I'll like come across a video, I'm like, oh, that would be a good sound bite to use, but then the connection to the magic side isn't there, and I'm just stuck with this saved sound that I want to use, but I'm not making the magic connection right now. Or I have the idea for the magic idea, but now it's like I have no idea where to find a sound or what
Hmm.
sound I would use for this idea.
That's very true.
So I do the exact same thing about saving the sounds, but then I always go back to those sounds, and if it's a sound that I have not used before, then I will go and watch videos of other people doing that sound.
Hmm.
So, like, when you click on the sound and it takes you to like this huge list of different
Yeah.
videos going from like the highest top person all the way down to lowest, right? I just skim through those until I find one that like fits with what I'm mentally thinking in my head.
Hmm.
And then I use that to base off a magic content version of whatever it is that I saw.
Smart.
That makes sense.
Um, it just makes it easier for me to find ideas that way. Just it's allowing us to promote those people at the same time making your own content.
Yeah.
So
I like it. That's smart. Okay. Thank you. Um.
I actually had an idea for one today that I just decided to not do, but I have it saved in drafts.
Do
I
what?
have one that I'm going to be working on this weekend, and all the reason I'm waiting for this weekend is because my kiddo won't be here, and I got the idea from Rachel in Exile, and I've been
Okay.
waiting for the perfect opportunity to record it. But it's going to be absolutely hilarious, and it's based off of um, a story that she did for the upcoming Strixhaven set. Zamone in particular,
Hmm.
the Quandrix
Yeah.
wizard. She told a story that happened in the lore for Zamone, and something just clicked in my head and was like, oh, this would make a really good skit for this. But I can't do it because if my kiddo walks in on me doing this, he's going to be like, why are you wearing that?
Ooh. Okay.
I'm
Okay.
excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited. No more spoilers. No more
No more
spoilers.
spoilers.
On your channel, you play Chaos Commander. Could you
Yes.
explain what it is and what the most chaotic, or is your most chaotic moment?
So, Chaos Commander is very simple. It's a normal game of Commander, so it could be any bracket. It could be brackets 1 all the way up to CDH, which I'm still waiting for people to be interested in doing CDH because I would love to be able to do it. But it's any bracket that the players choose. You go in, you play Commander like normal, and you do it live. However, the viewers get to be participants in the actual game as if they were players themselves. And the way you do that is you go and use programs like crowd control, where it allows you to go in and add special effects when you gift certain TikTok diamonds, or if you use it on a different platform like Twitch or whatnot, they have their own little diamond things that they use. But if you use those and you cash them in, then it redeems the reward and it allows you to activate, so to speak, whatever it is that you activate. And an example of this, based off the last part of this question of which part was the most chaotic that we've had happen so far. So I had Keela La from Cash Cards Unlimited on one of our lives, and she was playing Chaos Commander with another group of females, right? Well, because of how popular she is, basically anybody that came into the live was basically coming for her in particular, and they would gift like some of the big gifts, like for example, Warp World. I can now tell you with absolute certainty she probably hates that card because of how many times it was cast by viewers.
Really?
Of taking their
Kevin,
entire board, shuffling it into the library, and dumping whatever permanents they just happen to top deck.
yeah, Kevin, do you know what Warp World does?
Nope.
So Warp World is it's a red spell. I think it costs 6 to cast, right? Sorcery speed. All players take all of the permanents, including lands, that they have in play. So let's say that you have like 8 lands, 2 creatures, which is 10, and an artifact, so 11. So you have 11 total permanents out on the battlefield. You take all of those, shuffle them into your library. Then you reveal cards from the top of your library until you hit permanents equal to the amount that you shuffled in. So if you have 11 permanents, you top deck until you reveal 11 more permanents, and then you put them into play. If that means that you don't get a single land out of any of those, you don't get a land.
That's cool.
Like,
That's fun.
But that was something that I added specifically for that. It got cashed in 6 times that game.
Wow.
6.
Kevin, it's fun maybe the first time you see it happen
Mm-hmm.
and it's interesting, but then when someone's known to be the Warp World player and it's just like, oh, I just never know how this is going to turn up. It's
chaotic. It's fun.
It's so much chaos.
Yeah.
It's so much chaos. I can't imagine going through 6 times in a single game.
But it happened 6 times, as well as Wrath of God happened 5 times that same game. So imagine having your entire board wiped.
Oh.
And on top of that, having Warp World happen 6 times simultaneously within that same live, and not being able to do literally anything.
That's
fun.
But
that's a cool
crazy.
idea, though. That's really smart. I like the idea that the participant or the viewers can participate.
So it's actually cool that you mentioned that too as well. So Crowd Control got back with me 3 days ago. They are wanting me to be the spokesperson for the Magic the Gathering side for Crowd Control, and they are wanting me to ask the community from the Magic side of things what effects that you would like to see added to Crowd Control so that other Magic the Gathering users would be willing to use it and try out the program. So I'm in the process of trying to promote Crowd Control and people using the application on your PC. And then anything that you want to see added to the Magic the Gathering side of that program, if you will send it to me and I will make a document and a list for it, I can personally send it to the devs and they will add it as a special feature for the Magic the Gathering side of Crowd Control. So if anybody has any ideas, feel free to message me and let me know, because I will add whatever it is that we get on there, and we can get as many chaotic effects going as possible. So far, I've only gotten two, which is fetch lands. So you can have somebody in chat pay to give every player a fetch land
Hmm.
to go and search
Okay.
for a land. And then the other one is a counter spell. So, like if, for example, a viewer doesn't like a specific spell cast, they can pay a certain TikTok diamond reward to have that spell countered.
Oh, okay.
I like it. I like. So for the people who don't know, and me, what is crowd control?
Crowd Control is a program that is specifically designed to mod games on your PC. So the way that it works is you download the program and it gives you a huge list of games that you can go in and play on your PC and add these mods to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what it does is you set up the mods to where that they do certain things when somebody gifts you a certain gift. And when that person gives you that gift on whatever live platform you're on, it will trigger that mod and it will happen in game the moment that it is triggered. So, for example, one of the first games that I played with crowd control to test it out was Fallout 4. And I went live with it, and my wife happened to be watching. Well, one of the rewards that I had was that you could give this certain gift and a death claw would appear. Well, she decided to send 8 death claws at me at the very start of the game and hit me really hard in the face with it. So
Yeah.
I've kind of just been like, you know what? Let's just put this game off to the side for a little while because I have these death claws that I don't know how to deal with right now. And but it's stuff like that you can
Yeah.
do. But it's like Fallout, Elden Ring, The Witcher, Borderlands. Like they have all these different games that you can add these mods to,
There's
and
that,
allow your viewers to give you those gifts.
you know, the game where you're like trying to get to the top and you're not supposed to fall down, Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the videos where people are live and they're just getting like watermelons chucked at them
Yep.
the entire time?
Yeah,
No.
it's that same program.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what they're using.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
So
It's the GTA one where they're running up the
Yep.
ramp and all the different cars and vehicles are falling down on them.
Oh,
Like
yes.
that's
Yeah.
so that's the kind of app they're using to be able to do that.
So say
Yeah.
somebody was using crowd control for like a battle royale type thing.
So they have for those types of games,
Yeah.
they're called disrupts. So what will happen is that you can set up the crowd control over as an overlay over your battle royale.
Mhm.
And somebody can gift you something. For example, there's one that's called Bloody Screen, and it literally makes blood drip from the top of your
Yes.
screen to cover everything to where you can't see what you're doing. So you're in the middle of a battle royale, and then all of a sudden your screen just gets bloody, and you don't know where you're going or what you're doing. And then that, top tier first player, that you're about to get, you just ended up getting second place because you had blood all over your screen. So
I like it. I like it. Maybe I'll have to do something for the D&D battle royale. Maybe. But that is
Maybe.
awesome. That's awesome. I didn't know about crowd control. I know about Tickfinity, but crowd control seems like it has much more variety.
yes, I prefer it, but that's me. My wife likes Tickfinity, but she likes it because it's easier to add the stuff into than crowd control. But crowd control, once you get the hang of it and you know your way around computers a little bit, then it's not as bad as
Yep.
people think it is. But
Good. And yeah, everybody in the chat, us, if you think of any cards that you think you'd want part of your Chaos Commander, let you know. And you'll talk to the devs and we'll see if it gets in. That's cool.
And-
That's awesome.
And those of you who have not been able to catch a Chaos Commander live, you do have a YouTube channel with them on your YouTube, correct?
I do indeed. I have every episode uploaded except for one, and I will be uploading that one next week.
Right on, right on.
That's awesome, man. That's exciting.
Yeah, it's super cool. I did not know that you had her on your Chaos. That's
Yeah, I didn't expect it either.
cool grab,
If I'm
man.
being honest, she kind of came out of the blue. She saw
Uh-huh.
one of my videos about how that I was wanting to, and I still do want to promote female Magic the Gathering content creators because from my perspective, they're not getting pushed hard enough. Like I see it every single day where like I will see two of the exact same videos about the exact same thing, but one is a female and one is a male that's doing the video. The male one, for some reason, will get more views than the one that's from the female, and that bothers me. Like, it should be that we're doing this as a community and we're
Yeah.
sharing each other and trying to promote each other. And I feel like that the female side of things is not getting that. So I wanted to fix that.
Like
There
that.
was a I wanted to bring this up, and you kind of it's a fitting time to bring it up. I was looking at some cards for Secrets of Strixhaven
Mm-hmm.
today, and I was particularly looking up like the storyline spotlight
Yeah.
cards that have, the quote at the bottom that's in the story. This one, Group Project. I'll just skip over what the card actually does, but it's a quote from Quintorius Can. Never be afraid to ask for help. Success is much sweeter when it's shared.
Hmm.
Yeah. I like
And I
it.
just thought it's been really a common theme that a lot of us magic creators feel. So
Right.
I was probably going to do a video on that, but it was fitting to bring it up.
I
I
like
like
it.
it.
That's amazing.
Now you brought up that you did grow up a little bit poor, and what initially kind of started was getting into D&D.
Right.
So was that moment what sparked your passion for all things gaming and nerdy?
It was one of them. So the other one was my aunt, my dad's
Okay.
sister. There was a time where she actually, it was for one of my birthdays, I believe, where she rented out a the original Nintendo,
Hmm.
and that was like a treat. Like me and my brother never got to do anything like that. So she rented this Nintendo out and got several games for it. And me and my brother, like, we would just sit there and just play these games. Like we played Zelda, we played Mario, we played Duck Hunt, and all these different games, right? Um, and that also sparked the interest in gaming. Um, just because of the fact that it allowed me to process things differently and allow me to push the boundaries of my creativity. Magic was kind of the one that did the biggest part of that because it allows me to be strategic and I like strategy games. Um, D&D, yes, it is a strategy game, but as the DM, you already have all the answers.
Yeah.
So it didn't push me as hard as Magic did because Magic gives that sense of feeling of like you build this deck, it does very well. You feel like you've accomplished something because you're winning, right?
Yeah.
You're getting that dopamine feeling, right? So that's kind of why that I wanted to make magic into a career was
Mhm.
because if I'm capable of being able to feel that way all the time by playing magic, then I can make this into a career and make it to where that others feel that same dopamine feeling
Hmm.
Yeah.
and get paid to do it and it'd be the best career of my life, right? So that's where the whole LGS came into play where we decided to open up the store and we're going to be having it somewhere in Oregon. My wife wants to move closer to the beach in Oregon,
Hmm.
so if we decide to do that, then me and my friend from Texas, he's going to be moving to Oregon, and then we're going to open up the store and all that other stuff. But yes, generally Dungeons and Dragons mixed with a little bit of video games at just the right times sparked the interest in gaming.
Hmm.
Not so much from my brother though. He does like to game, but not the same sense that I do. He likes playing like the Zelda game where like it's just he
Open.
doesn't have to play with other people. He doesn't like multiplayer games. I'll do it all. I'll do multiplayer, single player. I'll do all of that. But
I want to kind of go back to thought process where magic really allowed you to like push those boundaries ultimately.
Mhm.
And I mean, that's the greatest part is you're always trying to make your deck the strongest to be the most competitive. But as a DM, you're wanting to make it challenging and wanting to, create these puzzles and different things. But at the end of the day, you hope for them to figure it out. You want it to not be easy where they're not challenged, but you don't want to be it's too hard and impossible to do.
Hmm.
So you're really restricting yourself in your capabilities as a DM. You have to be more open and flexible when things come in, but
Right.
I mean, yeah, you can't make the most complicated dungeon for these level 3 characters to try to go
Right.
through and feel great about it. So,
You
I
say
get that.
that, but unless you're the three people that I had in my last campaign, unless you're those three specific individuals, then yes, you're right. But one of my players for my last campaign, which we never got to finish, unfortunately, because I had a falling out with one of the players.
Mhm.
But one of them was Joven. Joven is the type of D&D player where that he will overthink things,
Oh,
and he will overthink it to the point to where that he will come up with scientific explanations as to why his thing should work, and he will not back off. Like there was one time where he sat down with me for 3 hours to explain to me why his bullet from his gun should curve like in the Wanted movie. And I was like, why? Why do you sit here and torture me with this? I have been working on this campaign for weeks, and you have to sit here for 3 hours to explain to me why your bullet should curve.
I am the DM.
Like the
Like,
Wanted
Did
movie.
you agree eventually?
no, I
Okay.
didn't. Because if I would have allowed him to do that,
Okay.
he would have single handedly curved a bullet around a wall and then one shot the boss that was in the next room that it was leading into. How do you manage? Like, you can't sit here and tell me that it's logical and scientifically possible for you to stand on one side of a wall, pull the trigger, and your bullet curve exactly at the right point to hit the boss square in the head for a critical damage. It doesn't make
Your
sense.
bullets don't shoot in 90-degree angles?
Right. Like,
You've obviously never seen the movie Wanted.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Oh, golly. Well, going back into what you grew up playing video games and D&D, video games specifically, what was your favorite video game and favorite video game memory?
So I have a top five.
Okay.
Uh, Kingdom Hearts series, Final Fantasy series.
Okay.
I've played all of those except for Final Fantasy 11. Borderlands, which we talked about that earlier. I have the entire collection of Borderlands. The Baldur's Gate series. So I have every Baldur's Gate ever made, even the PC versions, the originals. Like I have the disc versions.
Oh, really?
Those are hard to find. Um, and then the fifth one would be Destiny. So like Destiny 1 and Destiny 2.
Hmm.
Um, so Kingdom Hearts in particular had the most fondest memory for me because I got that game at Christmas when I thought we weren't going to get any presents that Christmas because of how broke we were during that Christmas holiday. Like my mother even says like, "Hey, look, I'm going to be straight with you. I don't have enough money to go in and get you guys gifts this year. So, we're just going to have a family get together where we're all just going to eat and be good with it." I said, not a problem. Like I expected not to get anything. My brother was the same way. We woke up the next morning, that Christmas morning, and somebody from my mom's old church had taken our Santa letters that we wrote to Santa that year
Mm.
because we were still kids when this happened. And she bought every single thing on our list. Everything. I got a brand new PlayStation 2 with all the games that I wanted. I got every single season of Smallville, which at the time Smallville was like a big show for Superman fans. She bought every single season, from first season all the way up to the newest season that we had on DVD. We got all the clothes that we wanted. Like everything that was on our Santa letter, we got. That
awesome.
was the most memorable Christmas, as well as the most memorable day for video gaming for me, because as soon as I unboxed that PlayStation, me, my mom, and my brother all sat down and we played Kingdom Hearts and Spyro. And
So,
I will
yeah.
never forget that day. We spent the entire day playing those games.
Hmm.
And that is the one fondest memory of like Christmas as well as video gaming that I will ever remember, is just being able to spend that specific day playing something that I never thought I'd get
Yeah,
and playing these awesome games. And that's what led me into what I'm doing now. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I had a memory like that too. I wouldn't say we were poor, but my mom, like, same thing, couldn't spend that much money. I also have a big family. I had 6 siblings.
right.
And so buying a present for each kid, it gets expensive. Eventually one year, my mom and dad both got us, the whole family, a Wii.
Yeah.
And it was one of those situations where, like, I was not expecting it, but it was amazing when we got it. And the whole family just played games for so long. Played the bowling game. Like, it was the basic Wii games too. It wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah.
But it was like
Yeah.
the simple, like, bowling or the bow and arrow. It was simple Wii Sports. Wii
Yeah.
Sports. It was incredible, and that was one of my favorite memories too.
It was really crazy how much the Wii brought families together
Yeah.
with gaming when it
It
first came
really
out.
did.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a
Grandmas
good
were
console.
bowling.
Mm-hmm. Mario
Like-
Kart when it came out, at least on the Wii.
Mhm.
Oof.
Freaking tennis on there,
Yeah.
and golf. I would spend hours playing golf. Like, just
Mhm.
Yep.
I always like when bowling too. I remember because you can adjust where you stand, and then
Mhm.
I was always focused on, like, okay, real hands. I gotta move it specifically, like, straight. Otherwise, it's gonna go in a curve if I, like, roll the Wii remote, and
right.
it was so fun.
My brother was the lame guy who would just like sit there on the couch and barely move
Ah.
his wrist. For
That's
things.
what my brother did. And
Yeah.
It pissed me off every time.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, get up and get active.
Yeah.
I'm standing up like in front of the TV trying to box,
Box,
my brother.
yes,
and my
the
brother- My
box.
brother's going like this.
Oh my gosh. Those are good times. Good times.
Going back to D&D for a second, I know you said you're a forever DM.
Yeah.
So it's probably been a while since you've actually played.
Right.
But what is your favorite thing about D&D, and what is your favorite class?
So my favorite thing about D&D is literally how detailed and technical you can get with it. So for example, going back into a different player from my last campaign, this character found a way to use his familiar to take a metal rod, fly it up to a certain distance, cast a spell that was within range on that metal rod, and cause that metal rod to then drop at a rapid rate and one shot a T-Rex that they were fighting. So that's the kind of stuff I love, is when you can think outside the box and make those things happen just by reading the notes and knowing what certain things do. Which is what leads me into my favorite class, which is called a Swordlock. It's a multi-class where you do a sorcerer and a warlock in the same class. But the reason why that you do that is because for someone as experienced as I am that can min-max, you could take a character and literally by a certain level, you are at the equivalent of being level 20.
Yeah.
And if you know what to look for and how to do all that, you can do these crazy things. Like there for the Sorlock in particular, there's a combo that you can do at a certain level where you cast two different spells, and the way that you have to do it is you have to use one of the Warlock's special abilities to be able to cast a spell that can only be cast as an action, but turn it into a bonus action spell. You cast both of those spells simultaneously, and it traps whatever's inside of the first spell cast, because it's the description for it is like a giant cage made of light.
Hmm.
So you trap them in that cage, and then the other spell causes like a storm effect where it's like shooting hail and other like dangerous objects at you. But the reason why that it works is because it prevents the character that's inside of the cage from making saving throws to get out of the cage. So you're doing infinite damage because they can't get out of the cage.
Smart.
So you literally just cast both spells simultaneously, trap them in that little light cage, pour the storm on top of them, and just watch the world burn. Because like, why not? You know?
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
You get all the crazy flexibility that warlocks have with spell casting, like you said, turning it into bonus actions, and
Yep.
then you get all the crazy overpowered buffs of casting spells from the sorcerer.
Right.
So it's a nasty combo.
Can I ask, going back to the first part of it was like the going outside the box and stuff like that. As a DM, how do you figure that stuff out? And like for example, there's nothing telling you how much damage that is. Technically, there's damages of like. How did you come up with the ruling on that specific scenario?
So there are ways in certain aspects to be able to calculate the damage from those. For example, the rod example. This cat. Uh, she just randomly jumped on top of me. So the rod example, right?
Mhm.
So fall damage in general is calculated. So you calculate the fall damage based off of the amount of meters that it is away from the said target. But then you also calculate how much damage they could deal with said item if they are attuned to that item and can be able to use said item in an effective manner. And because it would be classified as crit damage, you would automatically give them that nat 20 crit because it would just hit, right?
Mhm.
So you calculate all of that out, and whatever you determine after you've calculated the numbers out based off the fall damage, if they're attuned to the weapon, if they've cast any spells on said makeshift weapon, whatever. When you calculate all that out, will determine how much damage you will do overall to whatever the target is at the time. So there's ways to do it. You just have to know what to look for. You have to like know the fine print of things. Um, it's very rare for you not to be able to find the calculated damage for certain things. Uh, it in those instances, though, if you can't find it, Reddit is your best friend.
Okay.
Go to Reddit, ask the question, say, "Hey, I've got this player who's wanting to do this exact thing," and type it out detailed. The Dungeons and Dragons Reddit is literally on point. I've never seen a Reddit more quick than a Dungeons and Dragons Reddit.
Really?
They will like somebody will answer your question within minutes, and it's such a useful tool to use. It's just go on Reddit and just ask the question, be like, "Hey, I can't find the answer to this because it's not in any of the Dungeon Master books. Can you answer this question for me based off of what this player is doing?" And usually somebody will answer relatively quickly. So
Awesome. Good to know. Thank you.
For certain few things, Golden or Reddit is like the holy grail for information and is so helpful and so useful. But for most things, it's a giant cesspool.
yep,
Yeah.
yes. I use it for Dungeons and Dragons, but I will never use Reddit for Magic the Gathering.
Nope.
I'll never do it.
Mhm.
Nope.
That Magic the Gathering Reddit is like dunking your head in a pool of oil trying to find a needle. Like, it's just
It,
not possible.
it's so awful. There's so many trolls and so many know-it-alls and
Yep.
bigots. It's awful. It is. I sometimes go on the threads to help me get ideas for things,
Right.
and I get to 3 or 4 comments, and I can't be here anymore. I just can't be here anymore.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
you said you started playing Magic when you were around 8, right?
Yes.
What is your favorite set from Magic?
Older set, probably. I'd probably say Lorwyn, like the OG Lorwyn.
Okay.
Newer set, Final Fantasy, like hands down.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Just
Final
because of the Final
Fantasy, it's just like they did so well with that set. Like the cards themselves, like a lot of them aren't overpowered, which is fine. Like that, I'm okay with that. But the amount of detail they went into perfecting that set for each individual game, and there's 16 games total, right? The amount of detail they went into that set was just perfect. It was just, you couldn't get better than that. And I'm still to this day trying to collect one of every single card from that set. I'll get there at some point, but I would like to collect at least one of every single card from that set.
That's really cool.
That is a very lofty goal. I commend you in those
Yes,
efforts.
very expensive goal.
Yes. I'm surprised. You've also said that your favorite creature type is Phyrexians. I'm surprised it's not a Phyrexia set.
So most of the Phyrexian sets weren't that great, if I'm being
Okay.
honest. Like the effects and the creatures that they give off were good, but the set in general, like overall, I guarantee you, if you go to an LGS that sells bulk, like just a big box of bulk, half of that bulk will be from either the Phyrexian set or the Theros set every single time because it just wasn't that great of sets. Like they had really good prints of cards like Shieldred, Jin Kataxis, the Dami Mommy. Like,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of different ones that they had really good cards for. But the set overall, not that great.
Yeah.
And that's why that a lot of stores use those sets as bulk to sell and try to get rid of because they know nobody is going to want to, play with these sets overall because there's not really a lot going for them. Theros being the worst of those because literally I have a box sitting right over here underneath my bed. Half the box is Theros, and all of it pertains to either the heroic mechanic or it's like spells that you can't even cast by like turn 6 to turns 8.
Yeah.
So it's just why,
Yeah.
you know. But no, Phyrexian is my favorite like tribe, and just because of their storyline and what they accomplished, and that they felt like more of the big bad guys than the Eldrazi did. Like Eldrazi, they had no plan. They literally just came into existence and just started wreaking havoc. Whereas the Phyrexians, they had a plan. They calculated every single detail as to exactly what they wanted, how they were going to achieve it, and they didn't complete it because of one person. But at the end of the day, like they still primarily did 90-95% of what they set out to do. And I personally like that. I like the calculated villains. I like the villains that like they know what they want, they go after it, and they go after it in the most detailed and strategic ways possible.
It's more
So who's
progressive too.
Yeah,
So who's a better villain, Phyrexians or Nicol Bolas?
Rexians, 100%. Nicol Bolas is a crybaby with a pacifier in his mouth. I'm not even kidding. Nicol Bolas is literally the biggest baby in Magic history, and anybody can fight me on that. I really don't care. Like
He's just jealous of his spirit brother Ugin.
really, he's just a big crybaby that's jealous of his brother, didn't like that his brother was getting all the attention. So he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna rule the multiverse because I can. Like, swear, like,
I'm gonna go get help from a guy with a metal arm.
right? And he didn't even accomplish that. He really didn't do.
He did it.
He didn't do much with the guy with the metal arm. Like he
Nope.
literally just told him, "Hey, go conquer the universe for me." Okay,
And that guy's still walking around kicking.
right? Like,
Didn't he also have a what's the dead lady
Liliana.
Liliana? Yeah, but
yeah, yeah. So he had Liliana at a brief time until she wizened up and was like, "This dragon is just stupid," and then just turned and flipped in 180.
Well, she had a contract with Nicol Bolas, didn't she?
No, she had a
No.
contract with a demon.
With the demon.
So the demon wanted to side with Nicol Bolas, but until the demon was like, "Hey, like, I don't like what Nicol Bolas is doing because he's just a giant child. So I'm gonna go back to the underworld and just do my own thing." But Liliana had a contract with the demon until Nicol Bolas accidentally released her from that contract, and then she flipped on him.
Yeah.
And now she's out of the contract as well as not being tied to Nicol Bolas. Jace, on the other hand, Jace was the one that is completely like locked in on Nicol Bolas's whole plan, which is where the whole
Really?
reality fracture is going to come into play. Yeah, he screwed
I didn't
up
know that.
the whole reality
Stupid
thing
Jace.
because of Nicol Bolas.
Wait, so
So
I'm excited.
Jace is a complicated character, guys. Right?
so
It's complicated.
So I'm making a prediction now.
Yes.
Jace will become the new Nicol Bolas.
In Reality Fracture?
In Reality Fracture, yeah.
Oh, I'm
Because
excited.
so basically what happens is that Jace goes in and he wants to team up with Nicol Bolas again because of what happened with him and the Phyrexians, and he wants to erase all of that. He wants to rewrite history and change it to where that he comes out on top. So
Yeah.
he uses Nicol Bolas's help in order to do that, which is where Zamon goes and starts doing the research of why there's a whole new branch of multiverses that just randomly popped up out of nowhere that weren't there before. It's because of Jace. Because Jace decided, hey, you know what? I'm tired of people dog crapping on me and making me look out like the worst villain in the world. So I'm going to rewrite history and make myself into the hero. And that's where Reality Fracture is going to come in. Is he's going to see himself as the hero, but in reality, he's the new Nicol Bolas and he's the new big bad evil guy. So
You guys try being a telepath where all the planning is put on your shoulders, and you fall in love with a snake-haired woman, and have to deal with all that stuff. All right, it's a lot to deal with.
it's so what's and
He got trapped on Ixalan.
my favorite card is Jace the Mind Sculptor. Like literally, it's my favorite card because that was the peak of when he was like at his best.
Yeah.
And then he just after that he screwed himself up so badly because of his
So much.
poor decisions. But Jace as a character is just a idiot. Like he's just a full blown idiot. Like
He cares too much. He tries too hard.
he really does.
He overthinks.
Oh, Jace.
That's yeah.
But I will fight anybody on that Nicol Bolas thing. That is a hot take that I will take to my grave.
I don't think it's a hot take. I agree with it.
Yeah.
You mentioned that Final Fantasy is your favorite set.
Yeah.
So obviously that would probably be your Universes Beyond choice. But if there was a IP that hasn't been in Universes Beyond, what would you like to see?
So I have a serious one and I have a funny one.
Okay.
So the serious one is I would like to see Elden Ring.
Okay.
So Elden Ring just fits the generic like perfectly.
Hmm.
Everything about magic you can find in Elden Ring. Okay, so it would not be difficult to turn Elden Ring into an IP for Magic the Gathering,
No.
right? Very easy to do. The funny one, however, I want to see Golden Girls.
Really?
I want to see a Golden Girls IP.
I like it.
Because who doesn't love getting a freaking commander as Sophia and just being able to just play Sophia out as a commander and being able to say some of her best lines? Okay, like I can't help it. Like I just really want to see it happen because it would be so hilarious and everybody would be so salty about it too.
Mhm.
Would you be okay if it was like a secret layer?
I would be okay with a secret
Okay.
layer. I would be because they did that with my favorite movie of all time, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. They did that as a secret layer,
Mm.
right?
They did
So
Princess
I
Bride. Yep.
yeah, Princess Bride. Yeah, that literally those are my favorite movies of all time, right? Is Princess Bride and Monty Python, right? They did secret layers of those, and I was thrilled. I love those, absolutely love those. Uh, I would be okay with them doing a secret layer for Golden Girls, but it would be even more hilarious if they did a full IP of the Golden Girls and doing like different moments in the show. It would be the funniest thing just watching everybody get salty about it, and I would get the biggest kick.
Oh, there'd be so many people salty about it.
Yes.
That was by far probably the least expected answer
Yeah.
that I've had so far for this. I think we've had Elden Ring before. Someone I think
El-
said Elden Ring in a previous episode too.
Elden Ring is a very popular one.
Yeah.
There's several others that I wish that I could say that would be really good for IPs, but the problem is Disney in general
Yeah.
would have a field day with half of them,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
like Star Wars or Kingdom
Mm.
Hearts or like any of those big IPs from those specific franchises. Disney would have a freaking mind blown field day. They would be
Yeah.
suing all over the place. So yeah, it's one of those things. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna choose those because I know the amount of effort it would take in order to get those as IPs. But Elden Ring, on the other hand, it's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
You really can't beat it. It's got the dark entity factor that you're looking for. It fits within the same concept of in universes instead of the out universes
Yeah.
stuff. It's just the perfect game, perfect set for a IP for Magic. Honestly, way better
Good
than
choice.
Star Trek is going to be because oh my god, I don't even want to talk about. I don't even want to talk about Star Trek coming out this year. Ugh.
Ugh.
That's down the road. Well, Tony, if you could live in one game/movie universe, which one and why? Final Fantasy?
Oh, if it was a game, probably Final Fantasy. Yeah. If it was a movie,
Shrek. You want to be Donkey?
no, my wife would never hear the end of it. Uh, I would probably say as a comedy, definitely Monty Python. Action, John Wick.
You could be in the D&D movie.
I could. Yeah, that's
I
not a
never thought
bad
about
idea.
that. That'd
I
be
didn't think
pretty
about
cool.
that one.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
never
think
thought
about
about
that
that.
Because
one.
then actually brings your D&D. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. I'd say that would be an okay choice.
I go
I'd be
find
cool with that.
Jonathan.
Now, if you had to pick one Final Fantasy game
Yep.
to choose from instead of just the Final
Oh,
Fantasy universe, but a
oh
game to be set
Lord.
in.
You had to ask a very difficult question, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Um, if I'm being honest, probably Final Fantasy, probably either I think 14, the online game.
Okay.
And I say that because there's so much depth and
Yeah.
story in that one, that it takes like hundreds of hours to actually complete the actual storyline, right? So I would probably say Final Fantasy 14 only because the story is much bigger than all the other ones, and it's much more detailed and broad, and like it's just such a good world to be in. Um, so I'd probably say that one.
Hmm.
I'd be 10 and be a pro blitzball player.
Dude, like 10 was the one that I was thinking of at first because
Yeah,
of Blitzball, but that's such a basic answer.
I know. I know it is. I
So I'm like, I don't
well,
want to
you
give
don't
the basic answer. I want to give a detailed answer.
you don't want to choose 7 because then you're just putting yourself in like awfulness. Like,
Every time that I hear somebody say that they want to live in a world of 7, I'm like, you do know what happens in 7, right?
yeah,
You do realize that that world is messed up. Like,
there is a giant evil government looking over your shoulder every second.
literally, and you can't do nothing about it. There is no voting for new politicians in this one. You just get whatever you're dealt with.
Yep, I like that. Tony, if you can meet any celebrity and play or teach them magic, who would it be?
Okay, so if I was to play with a celebrity, um, I still want to play against Post Malone
Okay.
Mhm.
because in my Magic career, I have played against Brian Keebler. I
Right
have
on.
played against some other pros before. I used to be on the Pro Tour League many years
Wow.
ago.
Nice.
Like I did that with the Jace the Mind Sculptor and Stoneforge Mystic list, the Call Blade list.
Hmm.
So that was kind of where I started my pro runs, was that deck list. So I played with a lot of people that are really popular in the Magic community. But Post Malone is the one that I kind of want to just play against because when he plays, he plays like he's there to have fun, and he's like really relaxed and down and chill.
Yeah.
And that's the type of environments that I like. Even when I'm playing CEDH, I don't like people that like don't communicate and don't relax and chill. If you're so like uptight and just stiff playing in a tournament, it drives me nuts. Uh, so usually in those situations, I bring like a headphones or something like to listen to music, um, and that's usually what keeps me relaxed and
Okay.
just chill. When I get into that type of environment. Um, Now to teach somebody how to play Magic, that one, I'm probably going to say, so Emma Stone.
Okay.
So she seems like the type of person that if she were to get into playing it, she would get hooked really quickly. Um,
Hmm.
just her personality from what we know,
Yeah.
of her as a person, that she just seems like the type of individual that like you taught her how to play Magic, and she would look at all the pretty pictures and be like, oh, I want this, play this now. So then she just start playing because she likes pretty pictures. But that would be who I would want to like teach how to play Magic.
Very cool.
Never thought about that. I like that. Um, okay, getting into more feely, touchy, serious stuff for the last couple of questions. Um, what is a moment where community support genuinely surprised you?
Chaos Commander. um I'll be straight. So I did not expect Chaos Commander to go as well as it did.
Mhm.
Especially with the fact that not even like halfway through my Magic career, but like literally at the start of when I'm doing my YouTube stuff and whatnot, that I get somebody from Cash Cards Unlimited onto the game to play. I never thought that I'd get to that point until like years later.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and my wife is the one who puts this perfectly. TikTok is the fast burn for trying to get your content out and trying to get your name out there. YouTube is the slow burn. YouTube is the one where like you go and put content on there, but people won't know that you're actually on there until they recognize you on one of the other
Correct.
platforms.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and I'm trying to manage both, but do it in the way to where that I make my TikTok blow up faster and my YouTube come up slower so that I don't feel that burnout. But Chaos Commander literally is what the start of what all of that is. It's it's brought so many people together already, and it allowed us to be able to play with people we never thought we would be able to play with, to do something that makes the game more interesting and more fun and more interactive. Because, yeah, I can go and watch a pod play on a YouTube live, or I can go and watch a TikTok live and watch people play Magic. But when you can get everybody involved,
Mm-hmm.
get the entire viewers involved, get the players involved, get like this huge community that comes together and is like, hey, Tony is doing Chaos Commander this night, and we feel like that this is where we want to be because we get to not only support him and what he does, but we get to feel like we're part of the live and part of interacting with these players that we would never hardly be able to play against on a normal day. um, that's what brings everybody together, and that's the reason why that is starting to blow up as big as it is, and causing my stuff, in particular for Free Mulligan, to expand and grow. Um, but yeah, that I think that right now that is the answer. Is Chaos Commander is what allowed me to see that the community really wants these types of content, and caused my channel to just blow.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I like that because and like you said, the TikTok is the everybody. A lot of people on TikTok right now, and they just
Yeah.
scroll. They scroll and scroll and scroll. YouTube, it's either you have a long form video, but it's hard to find. Like unless somebody specifically searches for you content, they
Right.
may never even see it unless it's very popular. Otherwise, yeah, it's gonna sit in the little corner until you get noticed. Um,
Right.
for me at least, in thinking of it, for us, it's great because of Commander. There's
Yeah.
not that many people recording and posting Commander content necessarily on YouTube, like
Right.
the whole games, I should say. Um, so it's a lot more of a it's an easier way to get noticed compared to like video game content creators on YouTube. Everybody's playing video
Yeah.
games. Everybody's streaming that, and unless you're very popular, nobody's gonna know you're even streaming on YouTube.
Right.
Um,
My wife is actually my TikTok manager for this
mhm.
TikTok agency that we're a part of called Evolved. She put it out perfectly. She gave the example of I don't know if you guys know the popular TikToker Chris. She's a very popular TikToker, been around for probably since TikTok started.
Mm.
But she's got millions of followers on TikTok. It wasn't until she reached like I think 2 million followers on TikTok that they finally found out that she had a YouTube channel. And at
Mm.
the time, she only had like 50 subscribers on YouTube. Out of the 2 million followers she had on TikTok, she had like 50 subscribers on YouTube, until somebody in her lives was like, "Did you guys know that she has a YouTube channel?" And then she blows up, just out of nowhere, goes from 50 subscribers on YouTube to like millions,
Yep.
all in one simple day. But that's the point my wife's trying to make, is that platforms like TikTok, Instagram, those short form places like we're doing right now, those are your fast burns. Those are the ones that like you go on there, you make a short, you do lives on there, and you get people interested in what you're doing. And the more you do that, and the more consistent you are, and the more that people recognize that you're doing this, and you're not backing out, or you cutting yourself short or anything like that. Uh, they will like your content and it will allow you to grow. Well, when you get to a certain point, then they will want to be like curious about if you make anything else. So they'll go and start searching your other content places and be like, oh, he makes a YouTube channel. I didn't know that. I've been here for like a week and he's got like 10,000 followers on TikTok and I didn't ever even knew he had a YouTube channel. So let me go subscribe there. And then it just kind of slow balls and just goes from there. It's just you grow one platform and you focus on that, then the other platforms kind of follow suit, essentially.
The other paths are kind of like a side hustle for a little bit, like
Yeah,
side
exactly.
hustle,
Yeah.
like it's just you're posting there, but you're not expecting much from it.
Right.
Get it? That's awesome, though. I'm glad that's raising raising you up with a chaos commander, and I think that's a great idea, incredible idea.
N-
It's awesome,
Now,
man.
I will give a bit of advice, and this is for anybody. Don't do like I did at the start. I was trying to post 3 videos a week on YouTube. That's not including shorts, like the shorts that I do here on TikTok. Um, I was already experiencing burnout
Yeah.
and I was incapable of being able to spend time with my family. I was incapable of doing like the normal activities like getting the house cleaned and just stuff that I'm supposed to do outside of making content as an adult, right? I was incapable physically to be able to get my mind into doing those things because I was so burnt out and so tired that I was pushing myself too hard. Well, now that I'm at 1 video a week, I have more time to be able to do those things and I don't experience burnout now. I can just do that 1 video and know that even though it might sit there at like 50 views, 100 views for a while, the more I grow TikTok or Instagram or whatever, right? The more I grow those, the more likely that those people are going to go to my YouTube and be like, hey, I didn't know he had a YouTube channel. Let me go subscribe here, watch some of his videos, share them out, and like I said before, it just
Yeah. And the more content you have on your YouTube video, when that does have an effect and change, you're not super stressed about posting all these videos for people to watch. You already have that accumulated whenever you do
right,
the swap or whenever you shift people over. So
right.
I like it.
Tony, what is some of the best advice you have ever received?
That's a good question. Um, the best advice that I could possibly say: don't let the necessities of getting your name out there, the fame, the popularity, the money that comes with it, don't let any of that over exceed your day-to-day life and the people that are in your life. Don't let them override that, right? There will come a time and point where that your content, if you make content, will do very well and you will blow up and people will know who you are. You'll start to become more popular, more famous, or whatever, right? It might take time, but you'll get there, right? Just like anything else. The more you work at it, the more successful you are. But do not let that overwrite what you're supposed to do as a normal person. Don't let, the fame and fortune come over family, your friends, just overall general things of what you're actually supposed to care about because life's too short, right? To spend all of your time trying to become famous and then come to find out that you could have spent all of that time with your family and your friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And made memories. So I think that that's probably the most sound advice I ever gotten was when I started creating content was try to find the balance between the two. Don't allow one to over exceed the other one just because that you're trying to become the next thing and then you get burnt out and you're wondering why your family's mad at you and you know
You
Yeah.
get it. It's a good advice. I got burnt out doing too much, so I can completely empathize with you. What is something you wish people asked you but never do?
Um, Ask me if I'm okay. Um, so I'm going to say this because it's the three males here that are doing this podcast, right?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
The number one thing you can do for a man's mental health is to ask them how they are and like actually mean it. Like, I'm not saying like, how's your day been? Like, I'm not talking like that. I'm talking about like sit down with that person and be like, hey, I noticed that you're a little bit off today. I just want to check up on you and see how you're doing. Do you want to talk? Do you want to vent? Do you want to just do something? Right. So, me personally, I didn't find out until just last year that I have clinical depression. And it took my entire life to get to a place where I could go see a doctor to actually get diagnosed with that. And I won't go into the details of it, but there's a lot of situations that I have been in where that there was a possibility of me not being here today. Let's just put it that way, right? And all I would have needed in order to prevent those events from happening was for somebody to care enough to ask me how I am. And we don't do that enough. We don't go in and just, like we get hyped up when somebody is, doing really well. Like, for example, like Mana and Mayhem, he's doing really well right now with his content, right? He's blowing up, he's getting his name out there, he's got a lot of good things going for him, but he's also human,
Yeah.
right? There, I'm pretty sure that there are some times where that he is just like, hey, I'm having a really bad day. I don't want to have to deal with this crap. But somebody goes in and messages like, hey, you know what? I noticed that you were a little off in your video today. I just want to make sure and see if you're doing okay. That's all it takes. And we don't do that enough. So that is the one thing that I wish people would do more, not just for me, but just for
Mhm.
people in general. Ask me if I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
Ask me if like, do you need anything? Do you need me to talk to you? Do you need to vent to me? Do you want to play like a game or something to help you relax?
Yeah.
Something, right? Just to let me know that you care enough to know that I'm okay.
Yeah. I mean, and I think going back to what you said, like asking, like truly asking them, and you made a good point about making a distinction of do you need to vent? Do you need to talk? Do you need to get your mind off it? Do you need me to help fix things? I think making that dis- what they need in that moment is really important too, because if I don't need you to fix it and all you're trying to do is fix it, that's not necessarily always going to be the
Yeah.
right solution. If I
Right,
just need to vent, but you're just keep talking over me, trying
right,
to correct me for my point of view on something, that's not what I'm asking you to do in that moment. So it's taking the extra step and truly asking them okay and truly helping them how they need in that moment. Now,
right.
there may be times, depending on your relationship, where you may need to challenge someone, but there's an appropriate time, and based on your relationship, you should be able to make that call appropriately. But I think the starting off the conversation about truly asking, if they're doing well and how can you help them? What is the best way I can help you in this moment is really important.
Uh, that's literally that whole thing you just said is literally the reason why that me and my wife get along so well. So me and my wife don't argue about anything. Like if we have a disagreement on something or one of us is feeling off, we can feel that and we can sit and have a civilized discussion and ask the other person is like, "Hey, what do you need? Like what do you want me to help you with? Is there something that I can do to help you get through what you're going through right now, whether it be just sit down and listen, give advice, or whatever the case may be, based off of that person's needs. But me and my wife are like the
Yeah.
literal definition of that. And like, I never thought that I'd meet someone that was at that same mentality level as I am about that kind of stuff. But she can always pick up on when I'm having a bad day. And she's just like, hey, what do you need me to do? And I will tell her, say, hey, I'm just exhausted or I'm having a bad day. Uh, can I just, chill with you for a little bit and talk to you? Okay, cool. She'll sit down and then we just talk. And she will do whatever it takes to like cut out whatever she needs to in order to make sure that my needs are met as well as I meet her needs. And that's, how it's supposed to work,
Yeah.
not just between partners, but between people in general, friends, acquaintances. That's how the world should work. Is
Yeah.
when we can find each other's needs and meet those needs instead of just doing it however you feel like you want to do it. Like you said, like if I'm trying to vent and you're cutting me off and telling me how to fix my problem when I didn't ask you to fix my problem, that's where we kind of cross the line and be like, hey, like, I didn't ask you to do this. I just needed to get my frustrations out and talk to somebody that I trust. So the fact that you're trying to cut me off means that you don't care enough about me to hear what my side of the story is and let me vent out and, tell you what I need to tell you. And when I'm ready to have you help me, then I will ask. But until then, if I don't ask, I don't ask. So,
Yeah.
but we as people need to get more acquainted and more relaxed when it comes to those types of situations and knowing that, hey, I might not have known this person for very long, but if you really like what that person is doing and you want to be more connected with that person, take the time to actually go and say, hey, are you okay today? Like, it takes like literally what, a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I have a couple things based off of everything you guys have said. The very first thing, I can't speak much for females. I'm still learning about you guys. Um, but males, at least for me, and a lot of people that I know, we don't like to share a lot of things.
Yeah.
We like to hold it in. We not saying that like we're masculine and we need to hold it in. It's just it's not super easy for us to talk about it. Um, and sometimes we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to let like all our emotions go. And so sometimes getting those questions of like, hey, like sincerely asking, how are you doing? Um, it goes a long way for at least for males, at least for me. Um, and then getting on topic of like getting somebody that you trust and able to talk to, it is very helpful. And even if that's through therapy, if that's through friends, family, a couple relationships, stuff like that. Taking Nick for example, he is my buddy. So I started a new job. My last day on my old job, it was pretty crappy. I messaged him and said, "Hey, like I'm feeling this way. It was pretty crappy. I feel like they didn't care about me as much." And he's like, "Man, I'm sorry. Do you want to play a game? Take your mind off of that." So it's things like that. I really appreciate you, Nick, for doing that. And Nick and I have talked a lot too, and we vented to each other. And there's situations where we know we should just shut up and listen, or if we want to give back feedback, or we just ask each other like, "Do you want me to tell you? Do you want me to say anything to you, or just listen?" So I think very important for people to figure out and find somebody who they can at least talk to. I'm still working on it. I'm still very held back on a lot of my things that I have in my personal life, but I'm trying to do better on expressing it. So I love that. Thank you for bringing that up.
Uh, see, Carpool said
Women.
something
Women.
that I liked, where he said, "Make sure that it's women, not females." So what he means by that is that it's just like women in general, right? It's not like just females, but even our transgender community of women, right?
Sorry.
They go through those same emotions too, right?
Yeah.
They need help just like anybody else does. So we need to go in and prioritize not just, one spectrum, but all spectrums of the scope and help everybody and not just, pinpoint certain things. So carpools, thank you for bringing that
Yeah.
up.
Thank you. Sorry, I wasn't thinking. Thank you. I appreciate that.
But that is very on point, and I do agree highly with that. But yeah, it's just in general, like
Yeah.
male, female, not male, female, but men, women of all spectrums, whether transgender, regular, whatever, doesn't matter. Everybody needs help, and it is our job as human beings to provide such help if we are capable of providing such help.
Yep.
And that is something that I want to see more of, not just from like the magic community, but as a general whole. The moment that we can get to the point where that we care enough about anybody in general, no matter what their background is or their political beliefs or whatever, right? That we can go to that person and say, hey, look, listen, we might not agree on a whole lot. That's fine, but I'm here to make sure that you're okay. I'm here to check on you. If you need something, I'm here. That's all you need. And 9 times out of 10, that person is not going to care that you have a different belief system that they have because you took the time to go in and say, hey, I care about you enough that even though we might not agree on a whole lot of stuff, that you still took the time to go in and ask me if I'm okay. So I now trust you enough to go in and say, hey, I'm having this problem and I just need to vent. Cool. Not a problem. I've got a Discord for that. You want to join the Discord? Cool. Here's the VC. We can make it private. You can vent all you want. But
Empathy is a very valuable quality about humans, and over time it's gotten more and more dull, and true empathy is really lacking. And I think that's what people's intentions should really come from, and truly wanting to know where someone is coming from and how they're feeling, and trying to in some way put yourself in their shoes and see it from their point of view and not just your own. I think we're too much in this I'm the main character first world view, and we don't get to see outside our own little universe when this is a much bigger world than you can imagine.
I'm definitely not the main character in this storyline. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for the isekai to happen. I go to another world or something.
Major NPC energy over here,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tony, last question before we open it up to the chat to see if they have anything they want to ask you. What or who has been your biggest inspiration in life?
My wife, like hands down. That's not even a question. That is a full-blown statement. There's not a single person in existence that I can name apart from her that has been more supportive and more on my level than she has. She literally tests me every single day, both mentally and physically. She has been the number one fan of everything that I've been doing. If I tell her that I've got an idea for something, 9 times out of 10, she's going to sit there and listen to that idea, and she's going to, spitball ideas of her own and say, hey, maybe this is something that you might need to think about for this idea, or, say, hey, maybe you do something else until you can reach that goal for that idea. But there's not a single individual in existence that I can name that has been that supportive to me other than her. So she will always be the number one.
And to think you met her over Xbox.
Right. I got lucky.
It can happen to you too, other nerds.
For $14.99 a month, you can get Xbox Live.
Well, For those people who may not know, your wife is also a content creator. If you want to shout out and
Yes.
promote her channels real quick, go
Uh,
for it.
so she does tarot readings. And she is also a TikTok manager. So if you are somebody who is trying to go live a lot on TikTok, having that agency to back you up when things happen, like if you get restricted or hit a violation that you don't understand or whatever, her job is to literally fix that and make sure that it doesn't happen anymore. So she does both, and she has two different channels for both. And I can definitely send you guys a link if you guys need to both of those channels so that you can go and check them out. But she really likes the tarot reading, something that this is going to be kind of difficult to explain in the broad spectrum because it's not very well known as to this. But I proclaim myself to be what's called a Christo-pagan, which is where you take both Christian ideas and pagan ideas and combine the two together to form the religion, right? So I hold a lot of Christian core beliefs, main beliefs. Like I do believe that there is like only one God, and then there's the other forms like Christ and the Holy Spirit and whatnot.
Hmm.
But I also believe that in the pagan side of things, that the deities in question are like what you would classify as like angels or whatnot. So when she told me that she was going to do tarot readings, I was like, let's do it because I am all on board on this because she's wanting to do like the whole what they call white witchcraft, which is like witchcraft that is for like the to help people.
Hmm.
Um, and the tarot readings is the start of that, but she's also wanting to open up like an Etsy or a business or something to where she can like make those little charms
Oh yeah.
for people. Uh, so that's what she focuses on. She's really good at it. I really enjoy watching what she does. She does yes no tarot. She does. There's this one deck of cards that she has that's like insults, and it's super hilarious. I love those. Um, but yeah, she's really good at it. I'm very proud of her for what she's been doing with that. And she has been working very, very hard to get that pushed out and to get her name known in that community specifically. But in my Discord, she has her own section of when she goes live, so that if you are in my Discord and you see her pop up, feel free to just jump in there, ask like a question or whatever to do a tarot reading, because I'm sure that she'd be happy to do it. She usually does the yes no tarots, like you ask her a yes no question and then she does the answers it for you. But that's the type of content that she makes. So she's just, I'm very proud of her for what she's been doing with that.
Very cool.
That's awesome. I'd love to do
I
one.
may need to hit her up with my problems with my lives because I keep getting restricted for no reason.
She is the one to talk to for that. So she can get you if you decide to join the agency. She will get you set up to where that anytime that you do get a restriction or they pop up something that says like you violated something, but you don't know what you violated, her job is to literally fix that for you so it doesn't happen again. So I have it's kind of like insurance, but for TikTok
Yeah.
lives. It's the
Yeah.
way that I always
We
say it.
we literally just
So
got restricted at the very beginning for just playing our intro,
yeah.
and I think
So
I'm gonna say that's cool.
so stuff like that, that's the type of stuff that she can fix. She can literally do it on her computer and be like, hey, this didn't happen. Don't restrict him or violate the lives again for this reason. And it's fixed. So I like having that insurance policy behind
Yeah.
me to say, hey,
Yeah.
when I go live,
Mm-hmm.
then if something were to happen, I could just be like on my phone, text my wife, and be like, hey, this happened. Can you fix it? Done.
It's like
It's
having the
fixed.
devs in your pocket.
Yeah.
Right. Like, but
I love
That's
it.
awesome. Well, that is it for our questions. We're gonna open it up for the chat. Do you guys have any questions? Post it. Ask.
Or Tony, do you have any questions for us while we're waiting for the
I
chat?
do. Yep.
Not at the top of my head, no. Although if I get asked pineapple on pizza, I'm just gonna stare blankly at you
Yeah.
and be like, "Look, I
Oh,
We
can't
talked
have
about
pizza,
cheese.
Yeah,
bro.
we have
We can't
we have
talk
two
about that yet."
questions, and I was thinking about that the whole time. You probably don't
Yep.
eat lasagna often, and
Nope.
you probably pizza is off limits.
Nope,
Yeah.
can't do it.
So technically, that's a draw.
Yeah, it's a
No.
tie.
No, what are you talking about? No, it's not. He does not eat pineapple on pizza because he does not eat pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's because he doesn't like it. Oh, you cut it
I
out.
don't know. I'm taking this win.
No. You can't. See, look, even the comments. What's wrong with pineapple on pizza? Exactly.
I can't have pizza, bro.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what's wrong. I don't
Sorry.
know what else to
For
tell you.
our fight, it's really. I'm on the side that it's really good. Nick does not. Tony can't eat dairy, so he is.
He doesn't eat pizza.
Yeah.
Can't have pizza, bro.
NBand007 asks, "What's your favorite class to play in Destiny and favorite subclass?"
Drew loves Destiny.
Titan. Like
Titan?
favorite is Titan. Subclass, probably Solar. Just because I can do so much with Solar, like survivability on Solar is just like top tier.
Mhm.
But yeah, I main Titans. Titans has always been my go-to. I like being able to be the guy that runs around and punches things in order to take somebody out.
Yep. Are you excited for the MTG to Destiny?
So
Crossover
they have it
thing.
on there already. So you can
Oh, they
go
do?
and purchase. Yeah, so you can go and purchase the cosmetics for that now.
Oh.
I was very excited for that because that leads me into believing that there is going to be at least a secret layer for Destiny 2. At
Yep.
least.
Mhm.
I'm hoping for a full IP, but
I think they have
knowing
enough
them,
for
it's
it.
probably going to be a secret layer.
Yeah.
Okay. But if I had a full IP of Destiny, then Destiny and Final Fantasy would be like tied for my favorite sets. Just out, put that out there right now. But
Wizards has enough time to cancel Star Trek and replace it with Destiny 2, right?
facts.
Yeah.
I will sign that petition. I'll be the first one to sign that petition. Like, screw Star Trek. I don't want nothing to do with it.
I think Destiny would be better. Good. Star Trek in space doesn't necessarily go with Magic, I feel like, or not as much. Whereas I think Destiny would be closer to Magic format.
So the thing I hate about Star Trek is that it's so broad and so vast. So in order to make the set work, you essentially would have to go in and be like, hey, like, we're either going to narrow this down into a very small set and only focus on one particular show for Star Trek, or the set is going to be so large that it's just going to be one of the biggest sets of the year, and you're going to have all these different characters and all these different printings, and it's just going to be a big mess, and nobody has time for that because by the time that set comes out 2 months later, we're getting another set. So
well, exactly. You don't have to worry about Wizards putting too many cards in one set because they're always worried about making cards for the next set.
Yeah.
So it's either going to be so narrow and, like you said, focused in one aspect or one show, or it's going to be so vast that there's going to be no continuity to it. And it's just going to be like taking bits and pieces of everywhere, and it's going to fill that Star Trek nostalgia for people. But for like the actual nerds of Star Trek, they're like, this doesn't make any sense.
They're going to do exactly the same thing, I believe, that they did with the Doctor Who set, like literally down to a T, where they have the characters in there, but it's going to be so bland, nobody's going to want to play it.
Yeah.
Literally, like Doctor Who is one of my favorite shows, and I was so disappointed with that set. There was literally only 2 cards out of that set that I wanted, and I got both of them, and they're bulk. Like, literally, I have them for a deck build that I have, but the entire rest of the set was just, no, I ain't about that.
Sammy, that's your husband? Well, hi, Sammy. This is
Yeah,
our
that
interviewee.
is my wife.
Hello. Doctor Who didn't get a set. It got Commander decks.
Well, okay, so they
Hi,
got
Sammy.
4 commander decks with extra cards that you could get from the collector's packs. So, like, they had additional cards outside of the commander decks, but yes, in the broad spectrum of things, the most
Technically.
technicality is that they did have the decks.
Mhm.
Um,
Can I ask Sammy a question? Since she's
Sure.
here. Sammy,
Sure.
what did you think of this guy when you first met him playing video games? What was your thought of him? Is she there
yeah,
with you?
babe. What was your
Talking about-
thoughts?
Talking this redneck over video games.
Yeah, you.
she got Google
Well-
eyes. She's like, ooh.
Was there any questions while we're waiting?
It's quite a long. Yeah, it is quite a long story.
Dragonfire, I've made cheeseless pizza before working at Pizza Hut.
I wish that places like Little Caesars or Pizza Hut or Domino's or any of these big name brands would start on the hype train of the dairy-free cheese so that I could actually eat something. Because there's only one place that I know of that serves dairy-free pizza, and that's Papa Murphy's, and their pizza is like flavorless. So
Yeah.
yes, I can eat it because it's dairy-free, but at the same time, when it tastes like cardboard, yeah,
It's not worth
I'm
it.
not about that.
One of
Wait.
my
Oh, go
I
ahead.
worked in the food industry for a while too, and one of my first jobs when I got into it was working at a pizza place that specialed in gluten-free and dairy-free pizzas.
Yeah,
And I can tell you from someone who worked there, I'm sorry guys that you can't have pizza and you can't have cheese, but it makes our jobs a lot more difficult having to make those complicated pizzas for you guys.
right.
We have to like,
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
just kidding. You should be allowed to eat pizza, and I should
I
suck it up.
should
and
be
make it
allowed
for
to
you.
eat pizza, but I do agree that it is more work, so I will give you credit where credit is due. But,
Yeah,
yes,
the
babe, I know you love pizza.
gluten-free, dairy-free pizzas was
She
like,
won't eat, but she won't
oh.
eat the dairy-free pizza. She won't
No?
eat it, and I don't blame her. I really don't.
It's
Like, if I could choose, I would choose the real pizza, but I can't. So
So we got Nova is your best friend that introduced you both.
yeah. So Nova, she has been a longtime friend of mine and hers, and then she introduced both me and Sammy through Xbox in playing Destiny, which was the big game. Huh?
Discord.
Discord, and
Discord.
Xbox. We kind of did both. But yeah, so we got introduced through Discord and then played Xbox together and played like Destiny 2 and several other games. But that's kind of how we got together. We met was through those platforms. So
Yeah. Cool matchmaking story. Who is the better player?
in Magic,
Wait,
Oh,
does she play
Destiny.
Magic too?
yeah, she plays Magic. She doesn't play as much as me, but she plays Magic.
Okay. Destiny and Magic then.
Destiny, it does have to be me because I have more experience. She still has not done a raid yet.
Raids are hard though. Unless you have a
raids
good
are
crew, it's rough.
I used to shepherd people through raids, and it's difficult. So I get it.
Especially for somebody new.
Definitely.
Ooh, so rough.
I see you typing over there. My wife's over here. Magic. So we're kind of even on Magic because she plays decks like that are very aggressive, like the dinosaur lists, the dragon lists, stuff that like really punches right in your face. Whereas I play all the blue, and then she tells me that blue is illegal and she won't play with me if I'm playing blue, so I have to play something else. Uh,
That's
but
awesome.
yeah, we're kind of balanced when it comes to Magic. Now, I wish you would play more, but
Just got to get that right set to hook her. That
yeah, that's
genuine.
why the Golden Girls came into play because I was
Nah.
like, I know she really likes Golden Girls, and if they made an IP for Golden
Mm,
Girls, she'd be all over that.
yeah. Yeah. Ah.
You did mention previously, I don't know if it was on the podcast or leading up to it when we were just chatting, and I've seen you play it on stream, but Diablo. When did you
Yes,
start playing Diablo?
I played Diablo ever since the first game came out
Okay,
on
cool.
PC. I still remember to this day that my grandmother, we would go to her house and play on her computer, and we would play like Diablo or Doom
Hmm.
or like the old school PC games, right? And she would allow us to play those if we did very well in school. So if we come
Oh, that's
to
sweet.
her house and give her like a report card and say, "Hey, I got a B or an A," she would let us spend the whole weekend playing on the computer.
Oh,
So I got to have a lot of experience playing those games, and I am when I'm not even bragging on myself when I say this. I am very good when it comes to Diablo games like Path of Exile, Diablo, those games, it's the same feeling as playing Magic because
mhm.
they're so strategic. There's so many builds you can do. It gives me that same dopamine feeling when I'm playing those games as I'm playing with Magic. So I very much like those games. Um, if I get the chance to play them.
Yeah. I played a whole lot of Diablo 2. Diablo 2 is probably one of the games I have the most time played
Have you
in.
seen what they released recently for Diablo 2?
It doesn't run on my computer for some reason.
So the Warlock class that they released for
Yeah,
Diablo 2 is pitch perfect. Like it is the perfect class for Diablo 2.
I am so upset that I haven't been able to get it to work on my computer. I've been
Uh,
ever since it got released, and I've been looking up online, and everybody has the same issues. So I don't know what's going on,
So
but
I have it for Xbox, and
okay.
I've been playing on my Xbox because it just runs better, it's
Hmm.
smoother. But uh Warlock and Diablo 2 is just like they did so well with that right out of the box. Like I was expecting them to have like, glitches and bugs with the class. Not one. It was perfect right out of the gate. And then Diablo 4 released Paladin, and I'm about to do a full run of
Hmm.
Paladin here soon too, where I'm going to do a full Paladin build from start to finish. And I'm super stoked about that because when it comes to video games, I like playing tank characters. I like being
Hmm.
up close and personal, which is why that I prefer Titans and Destiny
Mm.
2. So I'm gonna play this paladin because it balances both the tankiness of being up close and personal, but also spell casting at the same time because you're casting spells to increase your damage output, and like that is just perfect for me. Now I wish Dungeons and Dragons felt that way, but it doesn't.
Hmm.
Dungeons and Dragons, if I'm playing a tank character, it's either I have to go all in on the tank or not tank at all,
Yeah.
essentially. Um, Paladins in general feel like I'm cheating because you get to cast like divine smites and stuff like that, and you get to do them over and over again, and that gets boring after a while, you know. So I wish Dungeons and Dragons would get to a point where like they could balance those other classes out a bit more to where you could feel like you're playing those types of games like Diablo
Yeah.
and Path of Exile, but probably won't see that for a while, honestly. Not until probably sixth edition, I'd probably say.
Yeah.
Uh, but
We can hope.
right.
For Diablo 2 in middle school and high school, me and my buddy would take turns, and one of us would be gaming at his house on his computer, the other one would be at the internet cafe around the block gaming on that one, and we'd be rushing people through all the acts, and then we also ran a market for runes
Hmm.
and SOJs and
Nice.
Hodos and everything like that. So that was like peak gaming where I was up till like 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning, actually like running a underground business. It was great.
Um, I did that for a while on Path of Exile, the first one, where I got to a point where that I was just so overloaded with gear, like top tier gear, that
Hmm.
I just decided to open up a market and just start selling stuff.
Yep.
Because the thing about Path of Exile that's different from Diablo is that you can actually sell gear
Hmm.
on Path of Exile for real money.
Oh yeah.
So you go to their trade website and you can put in and implement whatever gear you have in your storage bins that's specifically for market. You put those into the system under your profile, and you can put how much you want for them price wise,
Yep.
and you can put how much you want for them either by in game currency or by actual cash. And people will buy with actual money or in game currency those weapons if that's what they're looking for.
It's
Um,
it's too bad that Diablo, when they tried to open their official market, it absolutely flopped.
Tanked.
Tanked. Worst decision they've ever made.
Yeah. I
Oh.
wasn't too
Hmm.
thrilled about it.
Hmm.
Like my game crashed so many times when they opened it up.
Hmm.
That was the whole reason I was like, yeah, if Diablo 4 does that, no.
12-hour waiting times to get into
Yeah,
games. That was awesome. Yeah, let me take all this time to download this game. And now it's like, your queue, you're expected to get in 12 hours. And it's like, oh,
right.
I guess I can go to sleep and wake up to see if I get in.
Ugh,
Yeah.
no,
I
I'm good
played
on all
Crash
that.
Bandicoot, and dying was so rough. Yeah. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Crash
So I
Bandicoot.
take it you don't play games like Diablo or
Nope.
so I'm gonna give you a challenge then.
Okay.
So I want you to try your hand at Dark Souls.
Dark Souls. Is that the one in
So
the super hard one?
it's
The
a super hard one.
okay.
It's a super hard one.
It's not the hardest one. It is a
It's not the
super hard one.
hardest one. The first one is definitely not the hardest one.
Okay.
But but I want to give you a challenge to go outside of your wheelhouse and play a game that you normally would not play and try Dark Souls.
Dark Souls.
Um, I personally love games like that where that the more
Pull it up.
difficult it is, the more I get out of it, the more like
It's more.
dopamine and like just the this raw feeling of like when I beat a boss, it's just like I just want to scream at the top of my lungs. So I play a lot of those games. Elden Ring in particular, I've
Yeah.
played through like 7, 8 times already, and completed everything. But it's it's one of those games that if you can play it and play all the way through it, you will have a great appreciation for the other games like
Mhm.
Diablo and like the more slower paced but still difficult games. So that's usually what if somebody's interested in playing those type of games like Diablo, Path of Exile, or whatever, I always tell them if you can't beat Dark Souls 1, don't bother going into like Diablo or Path of Exile because by the time you
Well,
figure out how builds work, you're gonna be so bored with it and you're just gonna be like, I'm good. But
No, Dark Souls is known for being one of the most frustrating but most well-made games of all time, and will give you appreciation for gaming and video game production in general
yeah.
as a whole. And I unfortunately will never play Dark Souls again. I'll never play Elden Ring again. No, my best friend growing up, the guy that I was doing all the Diablo stuff with, was a big Dark Souls guy, and that's what
Yeah.
he would be playing most of his free time. If we weren't gaming together, it was most of the time a Dark Souls game or, part of the same, one of the other games the guy made.
Right.
And they are awesome. I can see why they're great. I am so bad at timing and getting those little windows, missing those little windows all
Yeah.
the time that I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't I can't dodge this dude. I can't
I
jump
love it.
roll. I hate it. I despise it.
Okay.
I am an addict when it comes to those games. I like my wife in particular, she's wanting me to go and get it for the PC so that I could do crowd control with
Mm,
Elden Ring because you can send enemies
yeah.
to the player in game for those gifts. So I'm looking into doing all of that, but I love that stuff because the more challenging you make it, the more fun it is for me. So I like those difficult games that make me think outside of the box.
Yeah.
Um, but
I love the hints in Dark Souls too.
Is
oh yes, oh my gosh, Dark Souls 2 was peak.
Yeah.
okay. Which one? Dark Souls Remastered? Sorry, I'm trying to pull it up.
I would recommend Dark Souls Remastered because they fixed a lot of the problems from the original Dark Souls
Okay.
that caused a lot of bugs and a lot of issues from the original. So I would play the remastered version, but play it at your own pace. Don't just go in and just like go straight through it and expect to like just beat it. You know that's not how this works.
Challenge
Take
accepted.
your time with it, learn the mechanics, do the tutorials, do everything that you can to learn how the game functions.
Okay.
Wait, and then if you can manage to do that and beat the game, when you come out of that, you will have a vast and like huge inspiration to play all of these other games that are just as detailed, and you will have a great appreciation for gaming in general just because of how like time, effort, and strategy you had to put into this one game.
Okay.
So
I'll try to. I'll play it this weekend. I'll go live for it. So that'll be maybe a one weekend live. Okay.
I
Thank you.
garden too much to play those games, dude. I'm gardening every day, bro. I don't want to hear it. Like I play those games too. Ninja Gaiden is so good. Oh, not a lot of people talk about that game anymore.
Fruit Ninja?
Fruit Ninja.
No. Ninja Gaiden?
Ninja Gaiden was an old game that is on Dark Souls level.
Several years ago,
but it
the
was
Dark
good.
Dragon.
Sorry, guys.
Elden Ring was my first Souls game. My first Souls game was Dark Souls, but mine was the OG, like the original Dark Souls.
Wait, so Elden Ring is from the not trilogy, but like series?
It's not from the series, so they call it Souls games because of the difficulty that is based upon
Oh,
those games. So if you ever hear somebody call like Elden Ring a Souls-like game, it's because of the difficulty that's matched with those games. But they're not within the same universe.
Okay.
Most of the time, they're not. There are some exceptions to that, but I'm trying to think of another one that might be. I tell you what.
Monster Hunter isn't one, right?
Monster Hunter is not a Souls game, but is a very good game.
Yeah.
I play a lot of Monster Hunter myself.
I started playing it and I got very confused about everything.
Bloodborne's a good one. Yep,
Mm.
that's a Souls game. Remnant.
Revenant?
That's what it's. Remnant. There's two of them. There's Remnant from the Ashes and Remnant 2. So both of those are Souls games, like Dark Souls and Elden Ring,
Mhm.
but it's with guns.
Okay.
So it's a little bit easier than the other ones just because you have more versatility and more range and more things that you could do.
Mm-hmm.
But it still feels like a Souls game, and they are very good. Remnant 2 in particular was a masterpiece.
Really?
The amount of Easter eggs they put in that game, like, it was top tier.
To run and use the restroom, gentlemen.
No, you're good.
Okay, okay. There was a new game that's gonna come out. I can't remember.
Crimson Desert?
No, that one's already out. No,
I still need to play that.
I want to.
Not Souls games, but what about Metal Gear games? I haven't played Metal Gear in decades, bro. uh, I think the first one ever released was the last one that I played.
Oh wow.
That was a long time ago, though.
You know what game that I played recently? I went on an arcade trip with my brother and my nephews, and I was obsessed with Metal Slug, the
Metal
arcade
Slug,
game.
yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, I got to play Metal Slug again. That was so much fun.
Your brother and you played the crap out of Metal Gear. Yeah, it's just I don't know what it was about Metal Gear games. I just wasn't that drawn into it as other people were. But I do respect them. I do respect the games in general, but it just wasn't for me. Metal Slug, on the other hand, was a really good game. I do really like the Metal Slug. The story, oh yeah, the story was terrible. I think that's the reason why I never got into it, was because the story was just not there.
Well, are there any other questions that people have? I know we're just chilling and talking, but it is getting late. Did you have any questions or anything you want to say in general about your channel? Anything upcoming? What's going on?
Other than the stuff I've already mentioned, like we're posting Chaos Commander episodes, we're posting regular episodes like just regular Commander, like Pauper Commander. Oh, that's one I could bring up here in a minute. Something that we're doing in my Discord. But we're posting videos once a week. I'm trying to get some other things accomplished with like the whatnot stuff and try to get the LGS stuff going. But talking about Pauper EDH, my Discord is going to be doing an event in June. So starting June 1st, all the way through the month of June, every single year, Wizards of the Coast does what they call the Pride Month event, where that you can go in and celebrate Pride Month by building a commander deck with certain restrictions. In this case, you take two commanders that don't have partner and give them partner and have them combine together to create a whole new deck. So we're going to be doing that in my Discord for Pauper EDH, which is your commanders are uncommon creatures, but your 99 is all common rarity. We're going to be doing an event where you can pair two uncommon creatures as your commanders and make a deck based off of those two commanders. We're going to have a league going on. So whoever gets the most points at the end of the league will win a huge deck box, which I've got it down here, but it's one of those big giant colored ones that has multiple slots and has the sleeves where you can show your commanders off. It's the really nice ones, right? Whoever gets the most points by the end of the league will get one of those. And then we're also going to take a poll for anybody that participates and submits their deck list. Whoever has the most popular and most like extravagant deck list out of the poll will also receive a gift. So there'll be two opportunities to win something. So if you're interested in playing Pauper EDH and joining my Discord, the Free Mulligan headquarters, you can join in over there, join the event. You have until June 1st to create your deck list and have it submitted to me so that we can get everybody together. I'm looking for at least 6 more people to play. We currently have 6 in the running, but I would like to have 12 minimum so that we can actually get pods going. I would like to get at least 3 pods of 4 going. If we can get more, that'd be great. But 12 is the number that we have to kind of hit in order to get the event started.
Okay.
So
I'll be interested.
Drew,
Yeah. Can you?
Drew, the best popper EDH commander builder I know.
You haven't seen me play. Calm down. No, Drew probably is. Where can we find your Discord? On your TikTok channel?
yes, so if you go under my TikTok channel, you can go under the Beacons link, and there should be a link that's specifically for the Discord. If you have problems clicking on it, Beacons is known for Discord links messing up sometimes. If you do have problems with it, just message me, and I'll send you a personal link to your DM so that you can join. But we currently have almost 100 people in the Discord currently. I'm trying to grow it as much as possible and get it as active as possible so that I can get places like Convoke to get recognized over there. So we can be part of like the Convoke community and get the channel going and promote it more and stuff like that. But the event, like I said, is going to be Pauper, and it's going to be from June the 1st all the way through the month of June. Each pod will play 1 game a week, and you will get points based off how well you do. And whoever has the most points by the end of the league will get the deck box, and
Awesome.
I will personally send it to them. So
Cool.
Very cool.
Cool. Awesome. Nick, do you have anything?
No, Tony, thank you so much again for joining us, man. I've seen you a lot and jumped into your lives from time to time and talked to you a little bit, but it was really awesome getting to sit down with you, get to know you better, let the community get to know you a little bit better, and hopefully more people make it away to your page and help grow your community more. And like the story or that quote Quintorius Can said earlier, it's better when it's shared.
right.
Exactly.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. This was an awesome opportunity to be on here and talk with you guys about all this stuff. So glad to be a part of it, and hopefully this will help us all grow and get our contents pushed out. So
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys in the chat for being here and hanging out with us and watching us interview the Tony, Free Mulligan MTG. Like he said, follow his channel. Go to his Discord that's underneath his username. If you have any troubles, reach out to him. But thank you guys for joining. Remember, we do have a TikTok channel, Mixed Results Podcast. We were technically supposed to go live there. We had some problems. Should be good next week. We'll see. But please go follow it. We're trying to build that up as well. But thank you guys for joining.
We'll be going live this weekend.
Yes.
On that channel doing some stuff, so come see us this weekend, see what we're doing this weekend.
Exactly. Thank you guys for joining. Appreciate it. Love you guys. Have a great night. Bye.
Bye.
bye.